That's Arlinda Smith.
All right.
Deja vu all over again. Our first speaker, having experienced cancer herself, is now experiencing deja vu with her husband's illness. Please help me welcome Arlinda Smith with It's Deja Vu All Over Again.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and of course honored guests. In French, déjà vu literally means already seen and refers to something that is excessively familiar. Fellow Toastmasters, have any of you ever experienced a feeling of déjà vu? Today, I will talk to you about my own illness 9 years ago, Ken's illness, and the Wellness Center. 9 years ago, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Now that's a pretty serious cancer in the cancer world. And it was in, first of all, I thought I was pregnant because it manifested itself in a tumor the size of a football in my abdomen.
Wow.
So, of course, I thought I was pregnant. What else would someone think? I was a little old to be pregnant, but miracles happen. So my husband took me over to Kaiser. No, you're not pregnant. I said, well, I think you should take this test again. It must have been a mistake. And they came back again with, no, you're not pregnant. And I said, well, then we better do some more tests and find out what's in there, because there is definitely something there.
Wow.
And they did their testing and found out I had ovarian cancer. My cancer was in the ovarian tubes, but it had manifested itself into a tumor the size of a football. And it was honeycombed. They had no other way to get it out but to chop it up in pieces. Of course, letting all that liquid into my abdomen. So then they washed me out really good and put me on the strongest chemo drugs they could to try and get rid of it. And knock on wood, 9 years later, I'm still here in front of you at Toastmasters. So, I'm assuming they knew what they were doing. 9 years later, Kaiser sends my husband, as he does every year, a little jar and says, here, put a sample of your stool in this jar and mail it in. Well, this year, they called him. Hey, Ken, we saw a trace of blood in your stool. Oh, no, that's just my hemorrhoids, which we found out is a common mistake people make. They say, oh, it's my hemorrhoids, but it's not. If it's in the stool, then it's in the stool. So we had an operation for Ken here about 4 weeks ago, where they took out part of his rectum, part of his colon, and that was a wonderful man. I was there when he woke up from his operation, and he said, Mama Bear, you're beautiful. I love you. And you know why he said that? I love you, Ken. He said that because they told him, when you go under your anesthesia, you're going to remember the last thing that you're thinking about. So he thought about me, so when he woke up and saw me, he thought about me, right? Everybody remembered that. You could get points that way. I was touched. My husband was really out of it, and I went home. But I was there the whole time he was in the hospital, and it really touched my heart seeing someone that I loved in such a predicament. I work as an activity director with senior citizens, and I see this kind of thing every day. But when it's your own family member, you have the emotional part of it also. that, boy, is really a big piece. And so now I feel that much closer to my family members, you know, because I have shared that feeling, you know, a hurt heart because someone you love is ill. It's hard to see them going through something difficult. It was easier for me to go through it myself because I was just a patient. Get ready for the treatment. Has anyone here ever gone or heard about the Wellness Center in Walnut Creek? No one? You've heard about it? It's a wonderful place you can go if you have cancer, you and your family member or your caregiver. Ken and I go there on Monday night. We were there last night for free. Everything there is free as long as you have cancer.
Wow.
So free group sessions. One for me, the caregiver, one for Ken, the person who has cancer, who's had cancer. And you can stay there for quite a while, as long as you need to, really. They have things like books. When I first walked in there a couple weeks ago, the lady at the front desk told me about this wonderful author, and she made a phone call and got 3 books for me. They're mysteries, because I love mysteries, but they have a funny thread going through them. And she says, we have to laugh. We have to laugh. So I'm going to read these books, and I'm going to laugh, and I'm going to feel better about things. They have a library. You can go in there and you can get regular novels to read, or you can get books pertaining to your particular illness. They have classes. As an activity director, I make classes for the month for my seniors, but they have somebody there who makes classes for the month for the cancer patients and their caregivers. Could be anything from something about cancer to just exercise classes or yoga classes, because they want us to have fun. They want us to enjoy ourselves. I truly would suggest if anybody that you know, anybody in your family or yourself has cancer, that you call the Wellness Center, because it is full of wonderful, supportive people that will help you along your way. So here I am, deja vu again. My illness and Ken's illness, and we're back at the Wellness Center. We're just changing places, and I just pray that everything turns out as well as it did for me.
That's right.